Hello, I'm Robin and welcome back to the Modular DIY corner here in the deepest, darkest reaches of the shed. I've got a whole bunch of DIY kits I want to build at the moment, and I need something just to get me started, get everything set up, ready to go, and then I can just go full force into a whole load. So what I'm going to start off with is something which I think is very simple, and it's the first module I've made that comes from ST Modular. Now, ST Modular, Stefan is a genius. He's a genius, and he is prolific in the amount of modules that he comes up with. There's just tons and tons of them, and he has this quite neat trick, which is that he just produces the PCBs with some surface mount stuff on and the panels, and he leaves all that other stuff, getting the kit together and the bits and pieces, to other people, which I think is probably a very smart move. So he doesn't have to waste any of his time filling up little bags with bits. He lets Pusherman do that. So this is my second kit from Pusherman. The other one was the U-Grids, which, as it turns out, is completely and absolutely brilliantly functional and not weird and strange as I originally thought it was. But let's not get sidetracked. So what is it that I'm trying to do? I'm trying to do something simple. I just want an envelope, an ADSR. That's it. It seems to me that all the envelopes that I have are hideously complicated, overly designed, and have all this functionality in it that I just want to boom. I just want an envelope. Occasionally I want to boom. It doesn't have to go up in pitch, obviously, but that just seems to be what happens. I just want a flipping envelope. ADSR. I don't really actually need ADSR, to be fair. Just rise and fall would probably be enough for me, or attack, hold, and then release, that kind of thing. But hey, ADSR seems to be the way that it is, and so that's what I'm going for. So what I have here from ST Modular is just a simple, I think, ADSR. Can you see that all right? That's what I think this is. And hopefully it's just going to allow me to stick it in my rack and use it on a filter, and happy days. That's all I'm after. I'm not after looping, strange, weird, offset, backwards, upside down stuff. No, I just want it to go. Whoom. That's the plan. So it shouldn't take very much, because nearly all of the stuff is done on the PCB already. All the surface mount is already on there. So all I'm having to do really is the sort of the front panel hardware. What could be easier than that? So I've got my soldering iron on. Got a few bits. It will take 5 minutes. So come with me and let's have a look. Okay, that seems to be all you get in the bag. So I've got a couple of knob caps. Couple of knobs. I reckon that's probably ADS, and I'll go with R for the last one. A couple of patch sockets, a switch, some nuts, a bit of a header, power probably, an LED. Sorted. Easy. Now, what I found with my other Pusherman project is there wasn't much in the way of instructions, like there aren't any. You just kind of have to go with what's on the front. It's not going to be too hard, I don't think. It's not going to be too hard. So you've got 4 knobs, A, D, S and R. Now these are bound to be all the same. Now what we do have access to is a BOM, a bill of materials. ADSR, should we click on that? It's a... Oh, there's an I-bomb. Now those are interesting. Can I get that to work? Download the folder and start. Right, hang on. How do I download a folder, do you think? So there's probably a clever way to do this that I'm just not aware of. But hey, we're here to learn, right? All the things I just downloaded have all gone. Oh, they all failed. Look, they all failed. Network error. So it seems like that's not an easy thing to do. Or it is an easy thing to do if you're a coder or some mad person knocking around on GitHub. I've just added refined GitHub, which may help. I don't know. Okay, none of this is helping. I haven't got anywhere with that. I've now been fiddling around for ages and I probably could have built the thing by now. So I'm not going to bother anymore. I have some pictures. I've got some components. How hard could it possibly be? Let's just throw the bugger together, see what happens. Yeah? So I'm going to use my powers, my ultimate powers of deduction and messing around, making it up as I go-ness. I've got a soldering iron. I've got some solder. Got some cables I'm going to melt. Got my glasses. I think all I need to do is bloody put the things in. So I think that's the plan. I think that's definitely the plan. So I'm going to start off with these little fellas. These here. Now if we look on our PCB, we can see that the sticky outy leg is going off to the side. Otherwise that goes in smartly like that. Now the reason I'm going to do these first is simply because they're the lowest component. Well, possibly. Okay. Obviously if you've sourced your own components or wish to source your own components for this, then you'll be using the BOM, of which there is a link to that. I was trying to get into the iBOM and I just could not work out how to download a folder from GitHub. I don't have any clue how you do that. And so that sort of action was denied. It would be nice to know, really. So those are not going to fall out, so that's good. This thing here. Now this is going to be on the back, so that's definitely going to be there. Am I going to want to put that in before I put the great big things in? You know what, I think I probably am. There's also an LED, but the LED is going to need to have something to do with the front panel, so I think I need to go in last. But this here power connector, I think probably that needs to go in first. Like so. But I can do that. I can do that now. Let's do that now. So power connector first. Bit of solder. Bit of air going through so I'm not poisoning myself. Got my safety specs on. Rock and roll. Okay, put the first one on. Just going to check that that's more or less flat and straight. Yes, it is. So I will do the rest. Oh, yikes. So I've accidentally filled up a hole next to it. Still getting the hang of this sort of new soldering iron tip that's got this flat edge to it, which has seemed to work really well in most respects, and then sometimes not. Anyway, so I've got that plugged in now, got that done, that's good. So let's crack on with these bits here. Now normally speaking I would put this on to make sure that they sit right, so otherwise if I solder them in wrong it's not necessarily going to go on. So I think I'll do that. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the whole lot on because these are holding themselves really nicely, and then I'll solder everything together with the front panel on. That's the plan. That's always the better plan, I think. Always a better plan. Now these are all the same, presumably. A1M, A1M, A1M. No, that's a different one. Okay, so A1M. Okay, so it says on the board here. So I've got A1M at the top. Glad I checked. You know, these are the details that are always important. So that's an A1M. Next one is an A1M. Then it's the 50K and B50K. So sustain, slightly different. And then this A1M again at the bottom for release. Oh, bent that. Bent that. I think it's because I'm still a little bit full up with solder over here. Is that going to go in? No, it's not. Okie dokie then. Let's get a bit more of this solder out of this hole. Okay, so that's all in. There's a switch in this middle bit. Doesn't seem to have an orientation. Stick that in there. That seems a little bit low, so that probably is going to need a screw on the top. Yeah. So that I think has raised that up to the level of the others. Whoops! Come back. I won't do the LED just yet, so I'm just going to put this on here and then do a little bit of tightening. There we go. So let's put a nice nut on the middle to hold it all together. That's about all we need, really. That's holding everything. Good. Let me turn it upside down and try to solder it without it falling over. That's always the. It's going to see if. Give it a go, eh? Give it a go. Always be careful of accidentally desoldering something else or melting something. Right, just check that over. With my slapdash soldering, you never know, I might have completely missed something. No, that looks alright. That looks okay. So I'm going to take that bolt off. Nut, wherever it is. Ease everything off. And see if I can sort out this LED. So long leg positive, flat edge is negative. Should be able to see that on there. That's reflected on the silk screen, on the printed stuff. So I'm going to put that in there. I think that's all there is to it. So I can now put the front panel back on. And it should all just go on perfectly. Oh, dee-da-dee-da. I can do all the bits up, and then the LED will be right up against the front panel in the right place, which is what we want. So yeah, I've got the front panel on. So either you know, depending on how you want that LED to go, you might want it to poke all the way through, you might want it to just sit very, very flush or somewhere in between the two. But if you want it in between the two, you're going to have to work out how it's going to sit there without dropping through when you solder it. So I've now got it metered up about how I'd like to have it. Oops, that looks good. So I've got it just poking through just a little bit. I quite fancied that. I'm going to snip off those little ends. Then I've got 4 knob caps. Now these I don't think have an orientation particularly, so you're going to have to just go with it. So I think about there, 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 and there. Does that look all about the same to you? Good. Then push them on. Nice. Job done. Job done. Right, okay, here's a little bit of modular. I've got a Pony VCO, I've got a wasp filter, and I've now got my envelope. Let's plug it in and just check to see whether it works. Red stripe, it's got the line there, red stripe on the power connector. Plug that in. Let's just see if anything happens when I turn it on. Which is always a good place to start. No, no smoke. No light either, but that's because I've not done anything to it yet. So we don't yet know that it's dead. So let's just screw this in. Absolutely assume it's all going to work and give it a bit of a test. Okay, let's turn it back on. So I've got some triggers actually coming out of the U-grids here. Let me just plug one of those into the gate. Look at that. I'm getting a flashing light. We're getting a flashing light. That's awesome. So let's borrow a few more of these. Take the output of that, plug it into the filter. Take the that's the gate out, inverse out. Plug that into the CV input on the filter. Now what I want is the sound. So I take the output from the filter, just plug that into something I can hear. Yeah, I think we've got the idea. But what I've got going into it is a trigger, which is of no real... Well, it's useful, but not useful. So we want to try something a little bit more nuanced than that. So let's apply a keyboard and see if that helps. So that's fast. This is slow mode. We'll have to wind that back in a little bit more. And then moderate. I can make it control the timbre instead. Possibly, but then I'm going to need that to go. Well, no, I can pull that all the way up. You can excuse the rumble of aircraft overhead for some reason. We're on manoeuvres, I guess. Maybe they found me again. Who knows? I would wait until the aliens have cleared, but hey, who has the time, frankly? So there you go. That was the ST Modular ADSR. Good, simple, seems to work as far as I can tell. It seems to attack and decay and sustain and release and all those sorts of bits. I like the fact it has 3 different speed settings. That's actually very useful. And it has an inverse output as well. It also has a retrigger. Interesting. But what's important for me at this stage is that it's just a simple, it's at 4 HP, you know, not very wide, simple envelope that just does what it should. And it only costs, what is it, 40 quid? 40 quid ex VAT. So, I don't know, 20% to 46 quid. Call it 50 quid with delivery. And I could probably do with a couple more. It takes 5 minutes to build. Assume you don't mess around with the I-bomb for no reason. Just follow what it says on the PCB. Put the things together. Put the front panel on so it doesn't all slide about the place. And it's a good one. Easy. Simple. Good job, Stefan at ST Modular. Nice. That's exactly what I was after. So I'm going to go off and do some far more complicated things now, I think. And in the meantime, I hope that was helpful. Go and make some tunes.